Let's go. Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. I hope you guys are enjoying your Mondays out there, or whatever day it is where you are. I realize it's not always Monday everywhere. Anyways, we are back at it with another fresh series for the week, and I am ready to kick this one off. Let's get everything. Ah, there we go. There we go. I wore the wrong dread sock. You can like slightly see through it. All right. Hopefully that's not too bad. What's going on in this chat? Hex Down Other says, morning, bro. BTC 84K. Let's go. Love to see that. We're going to talk about it right here, right now. I got that 4-hour BTC chart pulled up where we always start the stream at. Melissa in the house. I'm sure other people will come rolling in. Thank you, everybody who's here. Let's talk about this 4-hour BTC chart. So first things first, I like to back up. I like to start these bigger time frames. We will be using more, closer time frames here. Here, let me do that a little better. It was like shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Either way, very complex inverted head and shoulder pattern, measured move. It went straight to it. Then we said, hey, we got the move. What do we do next? Well, we need to come back down to the 21. At that time, the 21 was like down here. Or we got to go sideways and the 21 has to come up into price action. Look how beautiful this plays out. That 21 comes in, starts interacting with price action, and then bang, you get a push up. Now, let's see what that previous high was. Back here, the high was 79,542. And our new local all-time high, not all-time high for Bitcoin, but locally, is about 78,946, it says. So, well done, well done. No, that's got to be, no, it's giving me the wrong numbers. Yeah, it's 80,000. BTC to 84K. Absolutely, and we talked about this, right? Let me zoom out. We talked about this VRVP, the Visual Range Volume Profile, right? And we talked about how there was this higher node up here. Let me, this, right there. And how there was this big gap, and that if price action went through the gap and it held, this is where it would hold. This is all lifer vision stuff. You want to learn more about technical analysis, not something that I teach, right? Then you want to go check out the Crypto Lifer on YouTube, also a good friend of mine. You are in good hands if you go over to his channel to learn some technical analysis. Let's pop down to the hour, and we'll kind of leave that hour cooking. Now, what we don't want to do, it looks like we are evading it a little bit, would be like a Bart Simpson. I feel like with that push up here, we get rid of all these lines. With this push up here, we are certainly evading that Bart Simpson, right? And let's go to the 15-minute. Notice we will be looking at smaller time frames in the beginning of the show whenever they're relevant to look at. For me, I haven't been looking at smaller time frames because I'm not day trading, just building spot bags, right? And what does that say? Boom, measured move. Says we could easily go to 82,350, 82,450, something in that region. First thing I'd look at is your stochastic RSI. I don't see any divergence right off rip here. Maybe in the 5-minute or something. Stochastic's high on the 15. Pointing like it wants to come down. The 21 still got a little bit of room to come up, so we can go sideways a little more there. The 1-hour stochastic RSI resetting, and let's look at that 4-hour. 4-hour resetting. Zoom in here. Oh, sneeze coming. Whew. All right, I'm okay. It's looking like it might want to turn over and come down a little bit. So it's interesting. A lot of things to keep an eye on here. We'll be keeping an eye on them, but mostly looking at this 15-minute, and it does kind of look very like shoulder, head, shoulder, but it hasn't given you the dump there yet. Also, it looks like a breakout retest and some consolidation there. So you guys trade what you guys want to trade. Again, this is not a trading show, but I do like to talk about it a little bit. I like to touch on it in the beginning of the show. Let's go ahead and do that intro, because I got a new series for everybody this week. Put a 111 in the chat if you're here with me. Hex down under, you don't got to do it. I know you're here. But tonight, we begin a new series, and it is called Token Autopsy. We're going to take crypto tokens apart and examine what exactly is underneath the ticker symbol and the branding and the price. Should be highly educational for speculating in the market, right? Never educational advice, or never financial advice, never even educational advice, really just education, and you decide what to do with it, right? This is especially relevant right now because Tokenomics, it's like economist, but Tokenomics. Okay, whatever. Currently estimate that approximately 706 million in scheduled token supply will be released during the week of August 24 to 2030. That does not automatically mean those tokens will be sold, but it demonstrates how much token supply can change while people are only watching the price. We're really getting into a little bit of tokenomics there. That's really what we're trying to say. Let me hit that. All right. So the SEC has proposed a new framework for certain investment contracts involving crypto assets. One important idea behind that discussion is that crypto assets itself and promises made by the people selling it are not the same thing. But tonight, it is primarily the regulation lesson or a price discussion. We're asking something more fundamental. Why does a token exist in the first place? A project might have excellent technology, a growing user base, and a useful application. None of those facts automatically prove that a token is necessary for that project to even have a token, or that success will create a demand for that token. Tonight, we're learning how to separate the project from the coin. Let me know in the chat. What crypto project do you believe could function perfectly fine without a token? And of course, Warren Buffett always said, price is what you pay, but value is what you get. And that's highly relevant, because a token having a market price proves that it can be traded. It does not prove that the token performs a valuable function. You can trade things up and down. It doesn't mean they're valuable. Look at meme coins, right? Let's talk about what you may not know. If you're just coming in here, throw something in the chat. Let me know you're here. Smash that like button. What you may not know is a blockchain application can use smart contracts without issuing its own token. A protocol can generate substantial revenue while its token receives none of that revenue, right? A governance token may allow voting, but it provides no legal ownership, a dividend, or a guaranteed share of a protocol's income. A token can technically be necessary for a network's security while still having weak economics for the ordinary holders. Utility does not automatically produce demand. A utility that users rarely ever need can bypass or only once in a while have any real demand and create very little continued value. Rewards can temporarily make a token appear useful, even when most demand comes from people seeking a handout. A successful application, you may not know this, and a successful token are two separate economic outcomes. Burning tokens reduces supply, but it cannot generate genuine product demand by itself. Just because they're burning, it's great for the tokenomics and supply and demand. I will admit that a lot of projects have really huge max supplies or even circulating supplies, and it looks like they're burning a lot of tokens. They'll be like, we burned, 500,000 tokens in the last 6 months, but it's like, okay, but there's like 1 trillion tokens in the coin. 500,000 or even 1 million tokens in a year is like not really moving the needle. You'd need 10-20 years for that to make a big difference. Let's move over to those crypto bubbles. Strugahard in the building. Welcome in, Strugahard. Welcome in, Grandma. Says good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I hope you're enjoying your stay up there in Maine. All right. Let me move you over so you can see what I see. There we go. Let's take a look at those crypto bubbles. So 1 through 100 here. Let's see what is important. First, let's just toggle that 1 through 1,000. And we got the biggest mover of the day. Looks like 900 to 1,000, 2%, which is a little bit less relevant, right? I would say the 100 to 200, the more relevant here, and we will get to that in just a second. So first of all, Solana up 8% back to $101. Well done, well done. And we have Aerodrome 14.6% to the upside, Curve 5.3, Virtual 12.3, Injective 8.9, and Polmatic. Some interesting projects running, right? Arrow, Sol, you don't see those run too hard, at least not of recently. XMR and Aster, all right. I used this in the beginning of the stream for myself to get a general picture. Today has been a very busy day, meaning I haven't been keeping an eye on the chart all day. I checked it this morning and that was about it. So CashCat, wow, CashCat moved, man. It is up to 215 million. What is its all-time high here? Let's go to the yearly. So it has surpassed its all-time high, it seems. I thought it went to like 250 million before. A number 142 by market cap. There's so much money that flowed into this. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot stick at this point. Dogs. Looks like a new one. It's a Bitcoin related dog, I guess. We'll have to check on that one. I don't know what that is. Derivatives platform here, 15.4% to the upside. Actually went up quite a bit. It's pulled back, and then it's still up 15%. eHex getting a pullback. Looks like about 10% on eHex. Probably a good time to scoop some. Piverse up 11.4%. And Jasmy. Wow. Is Jasmy going to do something? Please. I always talk about it because I love to be highly transparent. Worst purchase I probably ever bought in crypto is Jasmy. I bought $1,000 worth of Jasmy. It's probably not worth anywhere near that. I'm probably still down like $800. I knew better when I bought it, and I still did it. So you can always make mistakes. It was a very long time ago as well. All right, we have this DGAI. What is that? D-Grid AI. I'm sure that'll be on our radar. We'll be taking a look at that. If not, I'll come back. Velvet down 78%. What happened to these coins? Like, what is happening to these coins? Like Lab and Memecore. Like, people are getting big positions in the beginning and then just dumping on them. I mean, it's not normal to go from 88 cents to 14 cents. Like, that's just, it's not normal. All right. We got Prom up 34.9% and UAI, Unify Network, up 30%. And I guess we'll go visit this 900. It's a lot of junk down here. No way. Keyboard Cats on base. Hiya. I owned some of this real early on and we sold it off. 8.4 million. It hurts. It hurts. I had bought some like Keyboard Cat when it was probably like $15,000. And we made a little bit of money on it, but nothing like if I would have just held it, right? WPay up 60%. Look at that chart. That chart is ugly. Perp, you're going to have a lot of like junk down here. It is what it is. That's why I generally don't go that far down the list. Let's go do our market rundown. 2.75 trillion. Man, we went from like 2.2 trillion overall market cap, all the money in crypto, let's put it that way, to getting really close to 3 trillion. Man, we moved like 0.8 trillion, almost 0.8 trillion so fast. It's crazy. let's hope that we can sustain it or just hold the ground, hold the line, I say, which is basically going sideways. That's what that would look like, or a very minimal dip, like maybe like a little 10% dip from where we are. That would be cool. But nothing more than that. We might really be able to go somewhere here if we could hold that for a little while. If you're just rolling in, smash that like button for me. Welcome to Underground Crypto, deep dive research show. $78,769 for BTC, up 22.9% in the last 7 days. We're really just doing our intro here, keeping a pulse on this market and giving people time to roll in if you're new to the channel. Ethereum, 2,478, up 30%. So think about where we've been, and we do this every show. 6 days a week, we read this price out, right? And 23% for Bitcoin in the last 7 days, 30+% for Ethereum in the last. This is looking good. These looking like some good numbers. Yo, BNB just flipped XRP. Get out of here. They're very close. They're very close. BNB probably has a lot more, I don't know, probably a lot more demand because of Binance's actual platforms globally. Wow. If I would have just held the BNB that I used back in the day on Binance Smart Chain, I'd be up a bag. Let's see, 16.6% in the last 7 days, $94 billion in market cap, $705 for BNB. XRP, though, still up a nice 48%. Can't be mad at that. XRP's percentage-wise is actually up more, even if BNB flipped it by market cap. And who knows, XRP might surge next. We might watch these battle it out. That'll be kind of fun. So $1.49 for XRP. Solana, $100 on the dot, $100.12. I know somebody out there is a stickler. 30% for Solana. These numbers are looking really good. We got to hold them, because if we give back, 50% of the gains, then it's only a 15% pump, right? Hyperliquid, $78.88. Hyperliquid is just booming. And Hyperliquid makes more money, revenue, like money from all the different revenue sources of its chain. Hyperliquid makes more money than pretty much anybody. Why am I thinking that there's somebody who makes more money than Hyperliquid? And they recently just added them. Blockchain revenue, all. Now we want to go down. Let's refresh this. Sorry, for my own curiosity, I got to go answer my own question here. So it's Canton. If you go to like the 30-day, yeah, Canton Network. Canton Network actually makes the most money, but for the longest time, they did not report it where I'm looking at the data. That's what it was. All right, so Hyperliquid, the second highly most grossing chain for revenue. It's highly relevant because people are going to be where there's money being made. Dogecoin, 9 cents, up 30% basically in the last 7 days. Zcash just, I don't even know what's going on with Zcash. That thing just took off. $828. Up 62% in the last 7 days. It's got to be up more than that. Let's go take a look at Zcash. Sorry, curiosity's getting the best of me. Let's go look at, say, the monthly. Yeah, it's up like 72 cents. I mean, you had like 450. You had these bottoms in here where you could have got like 450, 460, 470. Even over here, you could have got some days at about 5, a little under 5. Wow. Zcash just pumping. Very interesting. And Monero was starting to get a little bit of gains on it before all this pumping started taking off. Not anymore. Cardano, 22 cents, up 30%. Love to see Cardano moving with the market, just like XRP. XMR, $442. Canton Network, already back to 12.5 cents. I missed my entry on that. It's all right. You can't get every single entry that you thought of. 38% in the last 7 days. Toncoin, also known as Gram, $1.45, up 10%, capturing a little bit less interest, I guess, only 10% to the upside. Notice where the concentration of the big numbers are. It's in like your top 20 coins, if not your top 30, if you really I'd say like your top 25 maybe. But either way, you would think because these have smaller market caps, they'd have higher percentages, but we just haven't seen that yet. H-bar just chilling at almost 8 cents. Avalanche $7.54, up 20%. SWE at about 80 cents. To me, anything under $1 for SWE is pretty good. We'll look at MemeCore, $1.13. I swear that's when I got into it, was $1.13. And we'll take a look at Flare for the blues guy, 97. So I don't really think Flare went down. It's up 16.8%. I think a lot of things just drastically went up. Wow. Filecoin at 75 cents. Filecoin has just got absolutely stomped on. I own a very small bit of it. Probably not worth a lot right now. Let's take a look at what is trending today. If you're just rolling in, again, smash that like button for me. Welcome to Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show, where our topic of the day is we're going to be doing Token Autopsy. We're going to be raising that crypto IQ about what exactly we should be looking for with a project and its coin, and does every project really need a coin, or is it more of like a formality that every token kind of launches a coin? But is that why some tokens really don't do anything? Because the project may have never really needed a coin in the first place, right? And again, if you're with me, throw something in that chat so I know that you're here. So, okay, here's what's trending today, getting searched over on CoinGecko. CashCat, Solana, Bitcoin, Pump.Fund, Xano. Very interesting. I think I bought like a $30 bag of Xano. And they delisted it over on MEXC Global. I had to move it somewhere else. Aerodrome at about 53 cents. All right. Also trending Hyperliquid. I haven't looked at the price of Aerodrome in a while. Hyperliquid, Lighter, Ethereum, Pawns, a launch pad for the Robinhood ecosystem. SWE, Velvet, Dog, says Bitcoin, BitTensor, and Athena. Let's see. Is it actual Bitcoin DeFi? Yes, it is Inscription, I'm sure. What is a project there that I really feel like we need to talk about? Maybe Xano? Let's look at Xano's tokenomics, since we're really, kind of doing autopsy for a lot of tokens. The main autopsy for me is the tokenomics, the numbers over here. If you don't know tokenomics, highly relevant. Hey, Lucas says, hey, Underground, welcome in. I recognize that name. Welcome in. Smash that like button for me, everybody. There's a link to our free Discord in the chat. It's in the description. All my links are in the description, but that Discord is free. Go ahead and hop in there. You can hang out with us when we're not streaming, and, feel free to say something in there. Introduce yourself. We'd love to know more about how you got into crypto. Now, the market cap of Xano is about 130 million, but you're probably wondering, what the heck is it? Smart contract platform, layer 1, proof of stake, proof of work. How is it both? That is a good question. I don't really know a ton about Xano, honestly. I remember when it came out. Xano is a privacy-centric blockchain ecosystem launched in 2019, featuring untraceable transactions that leverage ring signatures and stealth addresses. So Xano is transitioning to Ring CT with an upcoming Zarkanum hard fork, introducing the first ever proof of stake algorithm with hidden amounts. So it looks like they're proof of work and they're moving towards proof of stake. Sounds like a Ethereum move, doesn't it? The hard fork will also incorporate confidential assets, privacy tokens that operate on the Xano blockchain. Okay, so it seems like maybe people are speculating on this coin because it's about to have a big upgrade. It might be a good one to scoop. I'm trying to remember if I sold my coins when they got delisted, if I sold them on the platform and moved them somewhere else, or if I just straight moved them somewhere else, because I think I did. Anyways, long story short, it's one to keep an eye on. It looks like they're about to get an upgrade. Total supply, 15 million. Circulating supply, 15.4. So it's almost fully vested. There's very, very, very little between the total and the circulating supply. And it looks like because they're a layer 1, they have their own contract. We'll go to their website real quick. It's been a long time. Unstoppable financial privacy. So financial, but of course, privacy is the main category or niche here. How else could we niche this out? No surveillance, no intermediaries, no compromise. Xano delivers unstoppable financial privacy through a decentralized, scalable blockchain that enables anyone to transact, store value, and issue confidential assets without giving up control. So you get the point. I mean, it's a lot like a Zcash or any of those other privacy coins, except for different, because it's doing its own thing and it has its own way of going about the privacy. That's about the only one here that I want to talk about right this second. Let's go ahead and move over to the crypto rank and let's check out that fear and greed index, how quickly the sentiment has moved in this market. I mean, we sat at the bottom for so long. Let's toggle the bar graph on the bottom, right? Let's go to like 6 months. And I mean, there were a couple of moments of yellow, right? And yellow meaning like 31, 25, maybe as high as like, what's this highest one here? 50, right? The neutral zone and under. We've been under the neutral zone and extreme fear and things a long time. For some reason, it doesn't correlate. I feel like the extreme fear candles should be red and they're not. They're all orange. I don't know whose idea that was, but I digress. Yesterday we were at 73. Today we're at 74. I did not stream yesterday as it was Sunday. And we're getting a little bit of green. How quickly we will forget how bearish it has been for a while. We really don't want to see us getting into extreme greed real soon. It seems like we're almost overdue for a pullback. I know nobody wants to hear that. A pullback in sentiment, okay? It could go sideways and dip just a tiny bit for a little while. Everybody wants straight up and to the right, but that means very big dumps when it finally releases. Everybody will get really scared and sell. So that part I'm not exactly looking forward to, but hey, I'm not in control of the market. I'm just here, whistling along as it happens. Chris Goss in the house. Welcome in, Chris Goss. 333, my fellow lifer, givers gain. Thank you everybody for being with us. We're going to get into the educational topic in just a moment. I'm glad I gave it a minute for people to hop in. So let's see. Crypto rank, you're going to get a little bit different. They're a little bit more focused on the institutional and things than, say, CoinGecko is. So you have this F assets. F assets I pretty much know is like Flare assets, but I think this is a totally different project with a very similar name. Because it's kind of like in Flare, they call it F assets, but there's no token or project. This is a token. This is a project, no token yet. Anyways, I hope you get what I'm saying. Stablecoin powered neobank with payment platform for emerging markets with RWA access. It says they've raised about 145 million. I don't know why they do this valuation thing. I think it's crazy. 145 million, but it's really a billion. There's a big difference between those two numbers, right? F Assets is a global digital banking and payment platform tailored for emerging markets. That's about all you really need to know. Allows individuals to fund their accounts using stable coins like USDC or USDT. Let's see what we got for backers. No tier 1s here. Nobody really worth mentioning as a backer there. RWAs and a neobank. Those are the two things. We see a lot of neobanks popping up because you kind of need a traditional banking platform to run a lot of crypto on and off ramp, right? And that becomes highly important when you're doing business. And I guess if you don't own your own on and off ramp, you might get charged a lot of fees as a company. So it just makes sense to own one. Hence to why Ripple has got one, Kraken has got one. I mean, they've all got a banking charter somewhere. Hertzflow, I've never heard of this. Permissionless perpetual DEX and leverage trading engine built on the BNB chain. Wow. And YZI Lab is a tier 1 incubator. YZI Labs says previously Binance. I'm pretty sure it's still Binance, right? And it's a DEX. What more do you really need to know about it other than it's a DEX? We could go ahead and hit their website real quick. How many DEXs do we need? I mean, the more a decentralized exchange, it's what DEX stands for, the more a decentralized exchange actually integrates and is interoperable with other platforms, or I should say other blockchains, the less I think we need one. Now, when when we have isolation of blockchains, and every blockchain is kind of isolated, maybe it communicates with one or two other blockchains, but it doesn't communicate with like all of crypto blockchain, then you need a decentralized exchange like for each one, kind of like how Ethereum has Uniswap, BNB has PancakeSwap, right? And you have these different decentralized exchanges, but the more interoperable it all becomes, the less we are going to need all of these, and you're going to see a lot of them fail or just become highly irrelevant, right? And then you'll see other ones really take over the majority of the market. So I judge most of these decentralized exchanges based off of how nice they look, how easy they are to use, what functions, what features, of course, what tokens we have. You have 3 tokens. Now, granted, most high-level people probably are only trading these 3, maybe XRP or something, but most people are trading just Bitcoin, maybe some Ethereum, maybe they play with a little bit of BNB or XRP, but if you have a lot of money, you're not playing with coins that just don't have a good spread. Anyways, Hertz Flow, keep it on your radar. Doesn't look like we have an actual token yet, so we're still waiting on that TGE or token generation event. Let's keep on moving down the line. Let's see what else we got here. So these are also things that are trending, right? Proms, we saw that pump quite a bit, up 37.9%. Superverse, 5.5-year-old project. You see at the end here, we have the age of each project. That's good to know. We have this D-Grid AI. I really wanted to check this out because this is brand new, pretty much hot off the press. Let's take it to like a 1 hour. Yeah. You got very little candles on a 1 hour. So this thing basically came out today. D-Grid is a decentralized AI inference network and unified API gateway. Let's learn a little bit more than that. So, decentralized AI inference network designed to overcome the limitations of centralized artificial intelligence by offering a trusted unified ecosystem, operating through a globally distributed network of community-run nodes. The infrastructure provides OpenAI compatibility API gateways that seamlessly route requests over 200 leading AI models. By leveraging decentralized physical infrastructure, DePIN, right? The platform ensures high availability, significantly reduces operational costs, that is big, and eliminates single points of failure. Sounds like a very needed service in the niche of AI. Let's take a look at their website. I am pretty hard on website critique here. The website's got to be good. Somebody lands on your website, it can't be crap. Otherwise, they're not going to buy the coin. We need them to buy the coin if you're invested in it. I do not own any of this coin as it just came out. The decentralized AI network verified on chain. D-Grid AI is a premier decentralized smart network leading the transition towards an open, cost-efficient, and fully auditable AI economy. That auditable is a big deal. You can start for free. It says your AI concierge for every task. Describe what you need in plain language. Looks like there are products called Dory. Analyzes your task, 200 plus routes. So this is what we call intent. You give it an intention, it figures it out. Kind of like a ChatGPT, but with this type of thing, we're hoping it is highly more capable of doing things and not so confined. Like ChatGPT is very heavily confined. Like it really won't do a lot of things. It won't reach out and touch other applications. Even if they're connected, even if you go connect applications to it, it's kind of not that great. The other day, I saw that ChatGPT had a new function called like build a website, and so I told it to build me a website. Worst website I've ever seen. They should just close that part of the. They just launched it too. I'm like, they should just close that because that was garbage. Digibyte's been around for 12.5 years. I'm glad it's getting some attention. Velvet Capital is way down. I mean, way down. What's up, Blues Guy? He says, thank you, God, for everything in my life, the good and the bad. Some were blessings and some were lessons. Greeting Underground and Undergrounders. Absolutely. Welcome in. Salute to you. Thanks for being here. Unify Network, The Sandbox, Swiss Bog. Anybody know what Swiss Borg is? Called it Bog. It's Borg. is a trusted and accessible wealth management ecosystem powered by blockchain technology. For me personally, I like to know what all these projects are. I like to be able to tell by their ticker what they are. I have a bit of a photographic memory. I think it's easier for some people than others. I like to be able to, look at it and be like, oh, Swissborg, okay, that's... At least I don't have to know everything about a project. I think this would be a good idea for people to maybe start trying to do. Just try to categorize it. Is it financial? Is it AI, right? Can you niche it down even farther? And that'll help you understand when articles are written or you see things pumping. You'll look at like 4 or 5 projects pumping and you'll be like, oh, yeah, those are all decentralized exchanges, or oh, all of those are AI projects, and you'll start to see how categories and niches move together. Right now, privacy coins have been doing phenomenal. Zcash especially. Anchor Network, Numer AI. Why do I feel like I own this somewhere? There's like 3 or 4 projects with almost the exact same name here, and it throws me off every time. Somewhere, and I'm just literally trying to remember where. Somewhere I own... Where is that? I own some of a project with a very similar name somewhere. I don't even know where. All right, HBAR. Melania Meme, Falcon Finance. We remember when that launched. ETH.Fi, Lighter, Stronghold Token. So, XLM, Stronghold. What was the other one that I saw up here? Digibyte. A lot of times those will all move together. And XRP is even in that conversation. You know that there's like a very specific kind of camp of like XLM, XRP, kind of maximalist people. Stronghold Token falls in that. So I'm not surprised to see that being searched a lot on this platform. It's not actually pumping, right? And Morpho. Morpho, lending and yield-bearing style project. They've integrated with Coinbase. Coinbase will give you like 6.5% APY now on like stablecoin. USDC, of course, not USDT. And it's through Morpho lending. Before, they gave you like a 4%. Anyways, let's get into the topic of the night. Let's see. Blues Guy says, if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. That reminds me of a quote my mentor always says. All right. He says, if your dreams don't make people flat out laugh at you, you're already thinking way too small. And I really took that to heart. Shout out to the lifer. We talked about intent a while back. Yes, we had a project called Anoma. So there's a couple projects that I just randomly want to check in on. First one is Anoma. If you've been around a while, we found this when it first came out. I love the idea of it. I don't want anybody to be confused. We could find a project and I could be like, the idea of this project is really, really cool. It's like a ChatGPT for crypto. And it goes a little bit beyond just a ChatGPT kind of chatbot, right? But I would say similar project came out, Venice, VVV token, and it did really well. It has a great use case. That was a good project. I should have scooped some of that. In the bottom, there's so many coins I wanted to scoop. It's like Pokemon. You can't catch them all, even though you try. It's been a long time since I, have tried to catch them all. But anyways, neither here nor there. 30 million in market cap. That's more than I thought was in it. Let's run it in the last 3 months here. Wow, it had a day where it spiked really hard. I do own a little bit of this token, of course, to be transparent. Not a crazy amount. I think I bought like maybe $120 altogether of this token. As it went down, I continued to buy more. All-time high is about 27 cents. That was 11 months ago. Yeah, that makes sense. That was like when it first came out. Let's go to the max. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I got a couple of tokens I just want to check on. Now that everything's pumping, I want to see if anything else really gets much move. I'd pretty much ignore like all of the beginning of this token because it's like highly irrelevant right now. And we'll just zoom in on the rest of the time, right? Yeah, we had a really big spike back up to 2 cents. All right, we'll see what happens here. I don't know. They're pretty active over on on Twitter and stuff. Anoma is a decentralized operating system, right? Designed to provide a unified application layer for Web3 by abstracting the complexities of underlying blockchain infrastructure. There's a lot I could go into right there. I'm not going to. Again, there was a couple. XRPH, another random coin that I bought a little bit of. I didn't buy a lot of it. I was up 10x on this coin at one point. Hasn't been highly relevant in quite some time. Let's look at it in the last 7 days. It's gone up a little bit. Not a lot. 25%. It's not horrible. I don't even remember what I bought it at. I want to see this thing catch a little bit of pump. It's only at like 1.6 million. So, I mean, it's tiny. I think I've been buying it. I think I bought maybe around like 2 million or something like that. So I'm probably down a tiny bit. But again, I don't buy a large amount of these tokens. I buy, you know, $100, $150. Let's go Lumina. Got a tiny bit of pullback, but I mean, this thing has done very well. Talk about tokenomics. This is one I like to point out, of course, for tokenomics. Max supply, only 500,000 tokens. Current circulating, only 352,000. It's less than 1 million, but this thing keeps climbing. It must have hit like 1 million market cap recently. I mean, over here, it definitely did. There's 1.5. And I mean, that's pretty much the same as its max chart, right? About 1.5 mil is all-time high market cap at about 1 mil now. I think I was buying it somewhere around 500,000. So I've almost, you know, doubled my money here. Gotta love it. Been talking about it, and I'll just point out another one real quick before we get into the education, just to show you why it matters for tokenomics. Max supply 3 million. Gnosis, they have some new stuff coming out, $324 million in it, only 2.64 million. That's why it's worth $123 a coin. And you can see its all-time high was what? It was about $644 all-time high. So you could easily get another 5 or 6x out of this. Pretty good stuff if you ask me. All right, let's get into the education. Have you looked into Ogi yet? All right, we're gonna have to just hope. This is the Underground Crypto Deep Dive show, so a lot of big channels don't want to take the chance of showing you anything that's like small. Probably a meme coin, and the person who asked about it probably owns some of it. All right, so this is not me telling you guys to run out and buy this. 1 billion token max supply, 41,000, not million, not 400,000, 41,000 in market cap, which for it's not a pump.fun coin. I'll give it that. It is an Ethereum coin. And I'm also not trying to like badmouth the coin either. Meme coins can do really well. 41,000 is pretty good. And you got anything to tell me about it other than obviously it's a frog meme, 4chan meme? Let's see how long it's been around for. Since about June 12th, 2025. So this is an old one. For how old it is, I don't really love the fact that I've never really heard of it before. And they become a dime a dozen. You have to realize that. Like these old coins that like, there's so many of them. They're rather like have achieved really high market caps before. Therefore, a lot of people knowing about them. They have good recognition like Pepe and, you know, Shiba Inu. And I don't want to say Doge because obviously that one's almost transcended the realm of memes. But anyways, my point is it could pump. But there's a lot of coins sitting in that same category, basically waiting to pump. But I appreciate you being here, and I think that it's actually a great project to even talk about. Because we're talking about, well, the series this week is Token Autopsy. And we're talking about two things. One is, does a project really need a token? Because it almost becomes like a formality that every project launches a token. But a lot of them are very lackluster in price action and fluctuation and market cap because the tokenomics aren't good, which is the other half of this autopsy. But also because the project never really needed a token. And it would be nice if some projects that don't need tokens would just not launch tokens. because they just clutter up the playing field. They're just another place for people to store liquidity when we need the liquidity in our bigger projects so they can pump. But I appreciate you coming through. Smash that like button for me. Says, let's go. All right, so let's get into the education for tonight. We always start with the problem, just like every good business should start with a real problem. The problem is that every project wants a token. They kind of want that almost marketing recognition of people being hyped about their token when it pumps. A lot of people learn about, think about how many crypto projects nobody would know about if they didn't see the token. You know, if they didn't see the token come out, maybe they didn't buy any of it. Like, there's a lot of projects that if they didn't have a token, we would not even know that they existed. A lot of them are services for institutions and stuff like that. Like, we just wouldn't even care about them. And just because they have a token, why should we care about them now? Imagine a company develops a powerful, or useful, I should say, blockchain application. People use the product. The company raises money, creates a community, and then launches a token. One of the first things I want to say here, and I will get into it in the teaching, is that there's a big difference between a project or company, right? Treasury bank account, where all the money they make goes into, and the market cap of a coin. Some people, especially new people, and this is why I want to raise your crypto IQ to make you the best speculator you can be. It's purely educational, never financial advice. But I want you to understand that, like, the market cap of a token associated with a project is not the treasury, or it's not the bank account where all the money gets deposited from the service that they do, okay? So, and I'm just using a random example. I don't know all the details, but let's take Zebek Network, or ZBCN, right? They have a whole payroll section to their company. As an actual company, they have a payroll service that they provide for business, right? You can hire them to do your payroll. Well, when they make money monthly for the service of payroll, just like many other payroll companies do, where does that money go? Does that money go? This is the type of question you have to ask yourself when you want to invest, especially if you're going to go hard in a company, aka a project. Does that money, or any portion of that money, ever go into the market cap of the coin that you hold? Or does it just go into their bank account and it's highly irrelevant to the token that you hold? I hope you understand my point here. Where do you buy Lumina? Let's see. I believe it's a Solana token. It's Solana token, so you can pretty much buy it anywhere. I swap it in the Jupiter app. No, Soulflare app. One or the other, rather Jupiter or Soulflare. Yeah, it's a Solana token. So any Solana wallet should swap it for you as long as you come here and copy that address. Make sure you get the right thing. I don't know why Bro Fat is giving us a contract address. Remember not to interact with links and contracts addresses if you're not confident, because if they do anything they're not supposed to do, you're responsible. I am not responsible for any links or anything people try to drop in the chat. Luckily, YouTube will a lot of times not allow it. Let's see. Where were we? Get me back to where I was. All right, cool. But yeah, you should be able to swap it anywhere. All right, let me get back to this. So, the token is marketed as necessary because it offers governance, rewards, and future utility. But the application could still accept stablecoins. Governance controls very little. And the rewards mainly produce tokens that users immediately sell, so there's no real value there. All right, they're a reward token, basically. You get the token and then you sell it if you're smart, or you hold it until it goes to the ground while everybody else sells it and takes the value out of it. Either way, not really useful. The product may be useful, but the token has not proven itself necessary. Where are all my undergrounders at? Now, I really do feel like this is such a great series for right this moment. That's why I've chose to go with it this week. And I always tell myself, that it doesn't really matter if any of you guys lock in and learn. I'm here to also educate myself. And I've been doing this for what, like 9 months now, this specific live stream. I have learned so much. I could talk for hours about it, like I do pretty much every day. So separate the 4 layers here. This is the shift. This is how we begin to evaluate. We got to stop evaluating the project as one single object, as one single thing. We need to be able to break it down into layers, because then you kind of know what to do with it, right? I could be very bullish on a project because of an application that they built and never invest in their token because their token has terrible tokenomics, or because there's no burn, there's no deflationary, there's no low supply, there's no money from the revenue being generated put in, there's no tax on sales. You know, there's all these different mechanics to a token, what we call tokenomics, that could make or break me wanting to hold or buy a token. Here are the 4 layers that we're going to separate things into. The company or the development team, the people behind it. The product used by the customers, the actual product or thing that they built. The protocol or smart contract that runs kind of the product and everything else. So what basically the protocol smart contract, that's what's on chain. The token traded by the market, so their actual token. Then we ask what layer actually does, what each layer actually does, and how does it have any relevance? Because for most people, now for me personally, I love a lot of this new emerging blockchain technology. I like to know a lot about it. For a lot of you out there, you kind of really only want to know what is necessary for understanding if the price has a high potential of going up. Understandable. That's what makes you an investor, right? So, a strong team can create a weak token. A popular product can produce no token demand, and a decentralized protocol, it can exist alongside a highly concentrated token. The payoff here for everybody who's watching this is just the intro to our education, is understand what you're actually evaluating. Once these layers are separated, tokenomics becomes easier to understand. That is the goal. What you can determine is whether the token performs an essential function, utility, whether demand is organic or subsidized, whether protocol success reaches token holders, whether the token could be replaced, whether the token mainly exists to raise money and create liquidity for insiders. Ding, 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 ding. That's how you get dumped on when you don't know that. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, let's actually break away from this for a second. Let's just do our top gainers, top losers of the day. Let's take a look at ETF flows. That'll break this education up a little bit. It's probably all education for most of you guys. Top gainers, top losers. We like to use this blockworks.com. This has so much to it, this website, tons of data. If you're very into a very specific part of crypto, this is probably a good place to find data you're not finding on your regular websites like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. So we have MetaDAO, Derive, Aerodrome, and Virtuals, Radium, Jasmy Coin, and Injective among your top gainers. MetaDAO coming in number 1 with about a 40% pump today. This is the last 24 hours. Origin Trail, we saw that up yesterday. Looks like it gave it all back. Morpho, Athena, Near Protocol, really Near Protocol giving some back. Pump, Dot Fund, Official Trump, and Aave. Near Protocol is another one that I really was hoping to make a spot bag of, and I just happened to choose other tokens. So I was hoping the bear market would really get a little worse and last until, I know, it's crazy, last until about October. And it might not be over. I know every time this happens, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to, but it could go lower, guys. Like BTC could go lower. It's starting to look pretty unlikely. It's starting to look like that's not going to happen. But don't think it's impossible, because it is highly possible. Anytime you think it's impossible, well, that's when Bitcoin likes to do the impossible. All right, let's look. We got from August 21st. Wow, is that really as far as we can get? I guess we just did the weekend. For some reason, these blockchain revenues are not reporting over the weekend. Is that a thing? I don't know why that would be. We're in crypto, not traditional finance. So why would we care about like business days? Either way, They're giving us to the 21st of August. It's the 24th, so we're a few days behind. Hyperliquid made $5 million. Canton Network made 1.5. Hyperliquid crushing it, that's for sure. But that's not what I'm here for. I want to look at these crypto ETF inflows. Now, ETF inflows make a lot of sense that you would only show me like traditional business days. Let's take a look here. So we're about really only a million. That doesn't even make sense. Total. Oh, I thought that was a decimal. Okay, so that's actually about like $1 trillion in inflows. Wow. So, wow. $687 million worth of the Bitcoin ETF was bought on the 21st of August. That's wild. I'd love to see. Tomorrow we'll be able to see Monday's numbers. That's a lot of money. Now it's making sense how we moved in the overall market cap. Remember, an ETF creates the demand for the underlying asset. It's what makes an ETF valuable. There's other paper trading and things that can be done where it doesn't really matter because it doesn't create a demand for the asset. They just trade little copies on papers. They're not actually backed by anything. Those are not going to move the needle, but an ETF does. Ethereum, 241 million. Let's look at the day before. Still 572 million for BTC. These are great inflows. And we've had about 4 days of straight inflow, and these outflows before it were very small. Good stuff. I can't wait to see Monday's numbers on that. We'll have to check that out tomorrow. All right, back to the education. So a project and its token are not the same investment thesis. This is what I want people to understand. When people say, I believe in this project, ask what they actually believe in. Do they believe in the team, the technology? Like somebody might believe in a project because they might say, hey, that's the same person who ran this other project and it did really well. So I believe this project will do well because this person's the CEO. But that doesn't tell you if the token is highly relevant. Is the token deflationary? Are the tokenomics good? What the max supply, circulating supply, like it doesn't tell you anything about if you'll make money holding the token associated with the project. When they say they believe in a project, are they talking about the technology itself, the number of users, the protocol revenue, and the token's future demand? Those are related, but they are not interchangeable. So a restaurant can serve excellent food without its loyalty points becoming valuable assets. Similarly, an application can attract millions of users without producing any meaningful demand for a token. So here's what it comes down to a lot of times. Say there's an application, right? And it's a free app, and people use it. And they use what is commonly known as the ad revenue style of business, meaning they have an app, it's free, you use it because it's highly useful, and not investors, marketing comes in and they want to market in that audience because there's so many people using the app. So the app and the company behind the app charges them money to other people to market or advertise on their application. That in no way, if there was a token associated with that project, made any money for the token. Do you get what I'm saying? That's just the company making money off of ad revenue. Doesn't have anything to do with the token. But that's the kind of thing we see a lot with these projects. They have a service or something, they make money, nothing to do with any of that money has to go into the project's market cap in any way, shape, or form. So why legitimate tokens exist? All right. A token can perform several real functions. Network security. Proof of stake networks require validators to commit the asset that can be rewarded or penalized. That's basically proof of stake in a nutshell. The token helps answer who may validate, what makes attacking the network expensive, and what can be removed when a validator cheats. This is structure. Removing the token could damage the network's model. So the point we're trying to make here is in a proof of stake environment, think of Solana or Ethereum. If you took the token away, this is a good way to think about it. If I took the token away from the project, would it destroy the project? If you took Solana token away from Solana, it'd be done. It'd be toast. It'd be over. There'd be nothing to validate. There'd be, it'd be cooked. That's a problem. So that means that it's highly useful. That means it's highly valuable. You see the thinking here? Where there's probably many projects we could go think about where if you just took the token away, nobody would care. But it's a good metric of measurement, right? So payment for scarce resources is another application. A token may purchase block space, computation, storage, bandwidth, data availability, or specialized network service. This is technical stuff for resources. These are meaningful resources in a project, right? In the actual blockchain itself. The important question here is whether a user must acquire the token or whether the application automatically hides or replaces it. Again, let's go back to the application. Company creates an application that's highly useful, but this time it's not free. It's free to download, but when you get on the application, because it's a Web3 product, you must have some of the token associated with it in order to whatever. Maybe you have to stake a certain amount of it to use the product for free. Maybe you pay for the product in the actual token that's associated with it. That creates money going in and out of the market cap. That's highly useful. Meaning, like, the more people that use the app, all of them have to buy $10 worth of the token in order to pay for a monthly, right? Maybe it's $5 a month, $1 a month, whatever it is. But that is real people buying the token associated with the project, money going into the market cap. If their user base expands dramatically, that's a bunch of new money coming into the market cap. Do you understand the idea? All right. Coordination and governance. This is another utility, right? Tokens can distribute decision-making authority over protocol upgrades, treasury spending, fee settings, risk perimeters, asset listing, and validator selection. But voting only matters when governance controls something economical or technically important. The incentive here, projects use tokens to attract liquidity, validators, developers, early users, content creators, and data providers. Incentive can help a network start. They cannot permanently replace organic demand. And what you'll see, because I'm constantly giving you the education, but then I want to reroute it back to why you should care about that education. So a lot of projects in the very beginning of the, and it's highly necessary. I don't want to say this like that it's the wrong thing to do, but many projects, they give away incentive to bring people to their network. The problem is, say I was a donut shop, right? And I said for the first month or the first 2 months that I'm in business, anybody who walks through my door can get a free donut. They can get 1 to 2 free donuts every time they walk through my door per day, right? Per customer. And so I'm giving away free donuts like crazy. That's the same example as like going to some website and getting some free tokens, some free reward for dealing with the project, right? Well, after a month or 2 months or whatever time I've set in place as my donut shop, I stop giving people free donuts. Now, there's 2 things that are going to happen. One, everybody showed up for free donuts and they don't care about buying donuts. They don't want to spend money on donuts. My donuts have to be so delicious that the people still come occasionally, every once in a while at least, to get one of those donuts because they're so good. If my donut is highly mediocre and not that great, then they're going to go to where they know the donuts are good. They only came to my establishment because I was giving away free donuts. And this can be applied to any kind of business, right? The whole point is that you use rewards to get people to know who you are as really good marketing. They come in, they get a free donut or whatever it is, right? Some free tokens. But the minute that all stops, is your donuts, is your product, your digital product, is it useful enough that people would actually want to come there without a reward, without an incentive? My point here is those are the only things that survive, because no project can give away free reward or incentive forever. They're gonna need to have something good enough that you would come there for free or you would come there to spend money. Otherwise, there's no money generation and there's no long-term, there's no longevity. You can spot this very easily when you go somewhere to get a reward. When you go somewhere, sorry about that, I need to drink something. When you go somewhere to get a reward, think, would I come here if they weren't giving me something for free? Think about like a fast food restaurant that maybe gives you something for free, right? They or a pizza shop, right? And you get a coupon, and it's like a buy one, get one pizza. And you're like, I don't really ever eat there, but I'm hungry, and I could get, a $5 pizza and get 2 pizzas. Or a $10 pizza, get 2 pizzas for $10. And if I get pizza at my normal spot, I'm going to spend $35. So you go there and you do it because they sent you a coupon. But if they didn't send you a buy one, get one coupon, you would never go to that establishment. That's the idea. So, access or membership. This is another utility. A token might provide access to software features, communities, events, data, services, and reduce fees. The question is whether token ownership is the most logical access system or merely the most profitable issuance model. Oh, look at that. CCP, what's up? And we got Goblina Jones. Welcome back. I remember your name from the World of Cloudcraft stream. We love DeFi gaming here, and I think it's going to have its day in the sun. I love to see people come back to the stream. Welcome in, welcome in. Our series this week is Token Autopsy. So we're breaking down what a token does in a project that would make it valuable, and does every project need a token? This is sauce, guys. I don't see a lot of people out here really explaining any of this stuff. So the token removal test is what we were just talking about, right? Mentally remove the token from the project and then ask yourself, can users still access the product without the token? Can they pay with another cryptocurrency? Like some tokens might allow you to pay with the native currency, but they might allow you to use USDT or USDC as well. And so you don't actually need to buy the native token. You want it to be, you have to buy the native token if you're going to own the native token and expect the market cap to go up. You also want to ask yourself, can the protocol still process transactions? Like a proof of stake is not going to process transactions without the native token. Can the network still secure itself? Security, highly important, because you don't want to own something that has terrible security. Can developers continue building without the token? Could voting be handled another way without the token? Is it really useful to have a token for governance? Does anything besides the market price change without the token? If almost nothing changes, the token may be replaceable or basically decorative, just a decoration, an aesthetic. Necessary does not automatically mean value. Okay, so now we're moving from does the token do anything of meaningfulness to does it have value? A token can be necessary for a network but still have poor economics. For example, users may only need tiny amounts of it. That doesn't really help the project if I need to own 5 of the token and they're a penny a piece. And so in order for me to use the app, I need to own 5 cents worth of the token. Even if it was 50 cents or $1, that really doesn't do anything for the market cap of a token. This all really boils down to tokenomics and first evaluating if a project needs a token. That's what we're talking about. But also, is there any money going into the market cap? If you understand your tokenomics, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So the same token may circulate repeatedly, right? What maybe is considered even like wash trading, where you kind of just take the same thing and you build up volume, but there's no real new money there. Rewards may create supply faster than demand grows. You don't want that. That's inflationary. Applications may purchase tokens visibly and immediately sell them, right? So an application may purchase tokens invisibly and immediately sell them. That's not good. Validators may consistently sell rewards to cover operating expenses. So if a validator is trying to make money, you make money by selling the token. If the token goes up and down, that's not really good. They may, a lot of times you'll see validators or miners hold the native token until it goes up a little bit, then they dump it, and they're the ones who are probably responsible for dumping the price. As soon as you get a little bit of pump, then they dump it. Necessity explains why a token exists, right? It does not tell us whether it will exceed the supply or be valuable. Utility is not the same as demand. So now we're starting to separate utility, usefulness, and demand. People want it, like they gotta have it. FOMO. Projects frequently advertise a long list of token utility, as if it's meaningful. Voting, staking, discounts, rewards, access, payments, and burning. Instead of counting utilities, measure their strength. Ask how many people use this function. How many people care about this function, right? How frequently must they use it? How many tokens does it require? Is it meaningful to the market cap? Must tokens be held or only briefly purchased? Meaning, can I just buy them, get what I want, and then sell them, and then I don't have any incentive to hold the token? Can the function be accessed without the token? Does the utility create demand or merely prevent selling? 10 weak utilities may be less valuable than one unavoidable function. What we're saying here is that 10 utilities, or any amount of utility, it could be 100, it could be 1, it doesn't really matter. Any amount of utility is still less valuable than one unavoidable function where you have to purchase a meaningful amount. Governance can be real, limited, or almost decorative. Real governance controls consequential systems such as treasury assets, protocol upgrades, fee distribution, risk limits, and administrator permissions. Limited governance may only choose market campaigns, community grants, cosmetic product features, and non-binding proposals. This is almost even a thought in governance, right? Is your governance meaningful, or is it not? Is there a board who moves around the treasury and the assets, right? And you guys just kind of vote on the next marketing campaign? That's not real governance. That's not real governance. That's a board who controls things, and you kind of talk about what profile picture they're going to use on social media. It's meaningless. That would be decorative. That would be an example of like decorative governance, right? Decorative governance exists mainly so the token can be called a governance token in name only, right? Always ask what the token holders can actually vote for. What are they even in charge of? And who can even override them? Incentives can disguise the absence of demand, especially in the beginning or the launch of a project or product. Same thing, interchangeable, right? It's so funny because I ran a business for a long time that was, a trade business, a service where you go to somebody's house, you provide a service, right? Well, it's where I live, it's predominantly older people. If for any reason it came up that I was invested in cryptocurrency or, did a YouTube about whatever, right? For whatever reason crypto came up, old people would always say to me, I just don't understand why we need so many currencies. Like, we have the US dollar, like, why do we need more currencies? And I would always say this. I'd say, don't think of them like currencies, because they're not. Think of them like startup companies, or even startup companies on your stock market, because that would be more relevant to an older person, right? Think of them like that, and you start to actually understand what the heck is going on if you don't live in the world of crypto. I live in the world of crypto, so I don't need to do that, because I don't, we study this stuff basically 24/7. Anyways, the reason why I brought that up is because if you think of it like a new company, think of like a store that opens in your local area. Don't they always have a big sale? Don't they always have a big giveaway? Don't they have, like, if you come in you get something for free? Like, they advertise in the paper a grand opening. That is the same idea as incentives. We just are talking about it digitally. So all the things that we're really talking about here are pretty standard, been around for forever business practices. They're not new business practices, okay? I really wanted to make that point here for everybody. Somi doing a live stream, brother, if you want to look. I would love to, but I'm doing a live stream right now, so I can't really do that. But Hex Down Under, maybe you could tell us, this is the whole community idea, maybe you could tell us if he says anything that you think is highly important, let us know. So incentives can be disguised as the absence of demand. As far as like raising your crypto IQ, the reason why I'm taking a minute to stop on this is because I personally want to think it through, but I also want you guys to really understand when you see something in real-time launch and there's a bunch of excitement, is it just a bunch of vultures trying to get a free meal, trying to get a free token, trying to get a free airdrop? What about the project is significant when all that goes away? That's what you need to be thinking. So consider a protocol offering tokens to users who deposit liquidity. The displayed activity increases, but ask, would users remain without the reward? Are the fees earned greater than the incentive paid? Basically, is it generating any money? Are recipients holding the rewards or selling them? Is the protocol creating customers or renting temporary liquidity? Renting temporary liquidity is a great way to put that. If the protocol pays 10 million in tokens to generate 2 million in fees, activity alone does not prove a sustainable economy. Basically, they're down 8 million. If they spend 10 million to generate 2 million in fees, right, then they didn't make any money and they're out 8 million. Protocol revenue does not guarantee token value. Money generated by a protocol might go to a liquidity provider, validators, developers, a company, DAO, insurance, reserves, token buybacks, token burns, and nobody. The protocol may charge absolutely no fee. Take a look at Fogo. It's built to basically charge no fee, but I looked at their revenue and it was like $5 for the last week. It was, or month. It was like $5, which is fine because it's doing what it's intended to do, but it's not making any money, and that could hurt people wanting anything to do with it, honestly, because investors want to see money made. So Uniswap governance unification, actually it's a good, that example of Fogo is a good example of an application or wallet that provides a service that is highly useful because you can stay logged in and not pay fees on Solana network, but it's not going to generate any kind of money for the token. It's kind of pointless. I wouldn't invest in the Fogo token. That's pointless. So why does that project need a token? They don't need a token. Anyways, I digress. Or they need a token for almost no reason. Uniswap governance proposal explicitly connects protocol fees and unit chain sequencer fees with programmatic uni burning system. All that's really saying here is that the fees from the sequencer are part of the uni burning system. Burning tokens, deflationary. Anytime you hear about burning tokens, it's deflationary. Now you want to think, how deflationary is it? Is it just a tiny bit, 0.01 deflationary? You're going to need a lot of time for that to matter. Kind of like when you hold money in a traditional bank and they give you 0.01 APY or interest. How many years is it going to take you to make $10? It's ridiculous. So that is an example of internationally, constructing a connection between protocol use and token supply. So there we kind of gave you a little bit of sauce. Uniswap has some burning mechanism or deflationary effect. Later this week, we will examine whether mechanisms like this genuinely produce value for holders. A warning sign. This is good. This should probably be like a quick list of things that if you see, you should see red flags, right? This is a list of red flags. So if you paid almost no attention to any of this educational part that I just gave you, this sauce, at least listen to this. When you hear statements such as additional utilities will be announced later, that you're trusting them. Don't trust verify. The token powers the economy, and they did not explain to you how that happens. Community governance, when the team retains control. Rewards without identifying permanent demand. deflationary. Without showing why anyone needs the token, doesn't matter how deflationary if nobody needs the token. Access. Well, what are you getting access to that you couldn't get access to any other way? Staking. When staking only creates more of the same token, right? That doesn't help you. Revenue. When token holders receive no benefit from it. Why do you care if there's going to be revenue? If the company providing a service is going to make a bunch of money, why do you care if none of that money winds up into the market cap of the token that you hold? The more abstract the explanation becomes, the more specific your question should become, and the more red flags you should be seeing about this investment. The 5 questions to ask first. Before studying price, charts, or social media excitement, ask this. What essential job does the token perform? Who is required to acquire it? Why must they continue acquiring it? So once they own it, do they just need to own a small amount? Do they need to keep buying it? Where do these tokens even come from? That's kind of a matter of circulating supply and max supply, and when do the new tokens from the max supply come into the circulating supply? And what connects projects' success with the token demand? If those answers are unclear, price analysis is beginning too late in the process, right? You don't even understand if it has any value. You don't need to evaluate the price of that token. So Monday's token necessity classification, and we will come back to this in just a minute. I do want to kind of give you guys a quick break from all of that sauce, and look at that. We've been live streaming for an hour and a half. That's about the bare bones of this show, right? That's about how long the IQ raising event and keeping a pulse on the market is about an hour and a half. Now we stream for 2 hours, pretty much minimal, unless I got something I really have to do every day. And nothing pairs better with the head pounding IQ raising event. For some of you, might find it difficult. I will tell you that the longer you stick around, the longer it'll matter. So, my mentor does a show where he teaches technical analysis. He teaches a lot more than technical analysis, right? The Crypto Lifer. But when I first started watching his show, I did not understand what anything he was talking about. Moving averages, anything. Nothing about what he was talking about made any sense to me because I did not trade stocks, really. I had very limited stock exposure. I basically bought it when everything dipped with that world global pandemic that happened. That's when I bought some stocks and I made some money, but it was pretty obvious. Everything was very, very, very cheap. And it went back up over like 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and I sold, right? There's a whole story to how I got into crypto there, but I won't go into it. My whole point is when I first started listening to him, I could tell that he knew what he was talking about. And I could tell that he was a pro at what he did. I had been watching him for 6 months at that point, right? And I was just like, I'm going to keep listening to this guy until what he's talking about starts making sense to me. And that happened. It took about 6-7 months of me listening to his show every single day, missing almost no days, before I really started to understand. I just started having one moment after another where I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes, and then all of a sudden I understood so much more about the market, technical analysis, liquidity, like you name it. But I had to lock in and have some faith in myself that I would understand what was going on. And there's somebody out there who probably hears my educational topics, here's our educational IQ raising event, basically when we go over the topic, and is thinking, I don't get it. I encourage you, if you care about being in cryptocurrency as an asset class, if you don't care about being in long-term or repeatedly making money in this area, then it doesn't matter to you. But if you're somebody who's like, crypto's going to be the future, I need to at least know a little bit about it. You're in the right place, and I encourage you to just stick with it. And also, again, not to plug the free Discord, the whole point of the free Discord and the members only and the members membership is so that you guys have some access to me to ask me questions. If you join the Discord, the main hangout is the best place. You can post whatever you want. We can talk. And I can maybe help with maybe some places that you're confused about. Maybe you don't really understand tokenomics and why that's important. Just want to encourage you to use the resources that are there. Small, tight-knit community that we have, up-and-coming YouTube. Now is the time to ask those questions. Don't wait until I have 10,000 subs and the chat's running, because we will get there in this market. When these things heat up, we will get there. 10,000 subs might be towards the end of the bull run, but you get my point. Don't sleep on what resources you have today. Now, I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm not going to tell you what tokens to buy. Don't ask. But if it's about education, what is tokenomics? What does that mean? Well, what if a project has 1 billion tokens in it? Or it could be anything else, right? What is a mempool? What is block space? What is data availability? If it's relevant to you, you know what I mean? Feel free to ask. Just sometimes people need to be told it's all right. That's all I'm trying to say here. Goblina Jones says, what game is this? And Melissa says, good info, dude. I knew you guys would like this series. I really love this series that we're doing this week. So this game is called Chainers. Goblina, I'm going to... Have you been around Web3? Have you been around, like, crypto for a while? I don't know where people are. I do not mean to insult anybody. I just don't know. Because a lot of projects for a long time, they had what they called a farm. And the farm was just a yield-bearing thing. You would stake some money, and then you would, like, get some interest from the money that you staked. There's then permanent loss. We're not going to go into that. But then we got into a trend where all of these projects that had farms would say they've gamified, or they've created, like, a game out of it, but it wasn't. It was just a page where you would stake. It was just, or you would provide liquidity for some yield. There was no game, okay? Chainers actually built a game around it. Now, the one thing that you could say is that although you're farming here and you are earning a real asset, a real crypto asset, you can earn Polmatic, you can earn BNB. I don't know what LMS is. What the heck is LMS? Okay, I don't know what that is. But either way, they are real cryptocurrencies that have a real value. It's not just pretend inside the game money. Like CFB is the in-game currency. It's not worth anything unless you're in the game. All my links in the description and stuff like that. We use it to farm a little bit of BNB. That's what I just did. Reward pool. I go to BNB, and then I put all, and then I put sell harvest. So I sell it, and I'll get a very small amount of BNB back. And in my wallet, you can see how much we've generated. 0.0047. But BNB is worth a lot of money. So hopefully that's worth something. I don't know what it is. It's free. And freelicious is delicious. And the idea here too is you're going to start off with not a lot of anything, and you're going to slowly build up stuff, right? You take the animals, you feed the animals, they give you items, you sell those items. You get the point. Like, you basically have animals and you have food. You can use the food to make animal feed, and then you combine, right? So I could take these two cardboard plots and make them into their common, make a common into an uncommon. You get the idea. I don't want to harp too much on it. And there's a mini game in here that you could play every day for some kind of free item that helps your farm or gives you free in-game currency, which you can use to buy items later. I just like the idea. And back in the day when we got started with Chainers, we didn't have a bunch of really good DeFi games to look at. We just didn't. There was nothing all that great. We had a few, but they were like you would play once or twice a day. Even Chainers, after I do this kind of get a free item for your farm kind of thing, there's really nothing else to do on Chainers. You could come back in a couple hours or whatever amount of time your crops are ready and harvest them and plant new crops. There are some games in the game feature that are supposed to be coming out soon. They've been coming out soon as long as I've literally been in the project. So one thing that we measure a lot of DeFi games is literally how often they actually roll things out. I will admit, been very disappointed with the games on Chainer rolling out because they haven't done it. And also, they seem to be very focused on their seasonal things, where they have like these little seasons, and the seasons are highly motivated for you to spend money, right? They want you to spend money on earning the rewards for their season. That seems like they're just not giving enough value. I mean, we talked a lot about value, right? I don't think Chainers has a token, which is good. That's an example of a project that doesn't need a token. But it does just seem like the seasons are there for you to buy and spend, and they're not cheap. I'll tell you that. It's not like they're a couple of bucks. And so they're probably raking in a lot of money, but they're not really providing a lot of actual interesting stuff to do or play. I'm just pointing it out because it's a good example of tonight's series. A project that really doesn't need a token and shouldn't have a token. And I hope that they don't launch a token anytime soon. But I'll take the free BNB and I'll keep stacking, and who knows, over time it might become profitable whenever my farm is worth a lot. At the end of the day, you can do this for free. You don't have to spend any money, and that's what makes it maybe worth spending. You got to think about how much time you spend. I probably spend, and I only do it on the show, it's probably like a minute or two. The longest amount of time is when I play this game for a free item. Maybe 2-3 minutes. I'm well over what I need to do here. I don't even know why I'm still playing it. So once you get over 1,000 points, you automatically get whatever free item. I'll let them take me out, take out my health here, and we'll just open our free item. Let's see what we get. See, that's highly useful. Some seeds that you get are like a one-time use. When you get a seed that's not a one-time use, highly useful. And I don't even have any pineapples, so that was well worth doing as far as moving forward in the game. I'm not going to act like they just gave me $10, but as far as like moving forward in the game, that was highly useful to me. And we will move on to the next thing. Speaking of Fogo, here's Fogo fishing. Not sure what's going on. Refresh this. There it goes. Oh wow, I'm not logged into Soulflare. This is Fogo fishing. You're basically just getting these Fogo fish. They're probably worth no money. We did this as a community when Fogo first came out. We found this project. It's been a source of a little bit of entertainment, but nothing monumental. We're hoping the price of these Fogo fish go up at some point. That would be cool. And let's see. Where do we want to go? Let's go back to the educational for a minute. Let's talk about Monday's token necessity classification. Every token can be placed into one of 4 preliminary categories, right? And this is how we're breaking it down. You have essential, useful but replaceable, incentive-driven, and decorative. So essential would be remove the token, breaks the network security, breaks the settlement, or breaks some kind of core function of it. That means it is a token that matters and is highly likely to stay relevant and go up in price. Then you have the next tier down, which is useful but replaceable. The token improves the system, but another asset or structure could perform the job without even using the token. So it's kind of like a 50-50. It's like it's essential right this moment, but like it's probably not going to matter for forever, right? So it might not be a token to hold long term. Then you have incentive driven, right? The token primarily attracts users, liquidity, or contributors through its rewards. AKA when the rewards dry up, nobody will hold the token anymore. Decorative, the product functions without the token. The token mainly supplies speculation, fundraising, or branding. This is a lot of projects. A lot of projects fall into this decorative category, and the token is basically free marketing. People see it go up, they see it, that gives them brand recognition. They see it over and over and over all the time, every time it pumps or dumps, and it just is almost free marketing. A token can be moved between categories as projects develop, right? And we won't go any farther than that. I feel like the education today was already pretty heavy, and we are rolling into, what, an hour and 40 minutes? Which means we're good to hit that underground crypto hangout section of the night. I think we'll start with some Kindra. Also, I was going to ask about the CyberLeak meme coin. Sorry, I didn't hear you the first time you brought it up, if you did. What is that? Is that a meme coin called CyberLeak? I see that, like, leak. You spelled leak uniquely. This? You might have just misspelled leak. I don't know what a CyberLeak coin is. What is that? Is that a hot news story today? We haven't done the news yet. I don't know if we will today. We probably should, but man, it's already been a very highly thought-driven stream here. And it's a Monday. I've been going hard on a Monday. So tell us a little bit more about that, Goblina Jones. Also, Goblina, are you in our free Discord? Because if you have any information about what you're talking about, you could drop it in the Discord. There's even different tabs in the Discord where you could drop it where it's relevant. Like if it's about gaming or if it's about this, that, or the other, you could drop it in the right place. Gratitude Monday, absolutely. So it seems like one group of people leaves and a new group of people will come in. Numbers are dropping as soon as we start. We got off that. That's good though. We were doing really well there for our numbers today on a Monday. It was great. Then Blessing Tuesday. Oh, you're gonna give us something good for every day of the week. A crypto guy leaked GTA 6 footage and made a meme coin about it. Oh no, I didn't see that. Which is funny. I've been on pump.fun all day, but I've just been watching a couple of tokens that I'm into here, and it's pumped a little bit. My trenchers know who you are, but I haven't been paying attention to anything else. So I've been, like I said, I've been very busy all day. It happens to me most Mondays. I'm not really able to look at a lot, so that's really cool though. Goblina Jones, I appreciate you letting us know. And Melissa, I think you like GTA 6, right? So what does the leak footage look like? The speculation or the word on the street about GTA 6 is that they went and catered hardcore to like younger kids. The game itself, I don't know about the content of the game, but like the play and thing, like maybe they simplify. What happens when they really want younger people on there? Because younger people, believe it or not, have a lot of time to sit around and play games. They're a great market for a game, more than adults almost. And sometimes they'll simplify things or water down things just so the younger people find it more interesting and can play easier. But the older gamers, the adult gamers and stuff, they hate that. So GTA 6, that's what I've heard from people online. I don't know if that's true. I don't even care, to be honest with you, because I don't really play GTA. I have GTA 5 on my PlayStation, haven't played it in years. I know people who are really big into it though. As far as I'm concerned, they are using it as a metaverse platform like Fortnite is. Okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense. And I mean, it's been that way. I mean, GTA 5 you could say is like that. Now I'm sure they're kicking it up a notch and they're making it more like that. But I mean, GTA 5 has all kinds of like mini games in it and stuff like that. Okay, I finally figured out how to dig up the stuff from the treasure map. So there's supposed to be this new thing in Kindra. I posted it in the Discord under GameFi, and I believe it's the monument. And when it's now, the monument's now connected with Uniswap, and basically when people buy or sell, it turns red and green, and when people, I don't know, swap more than 500 or buy more than $500 worth of Kindra, fireworks go off in the town. It's cool. It's definitely like adds an extra like aesthetic. Hit that fortune wheel. I posted about it in the Discord under GameFi if you haven't seen it. I'm going to clean up some of those tabs. Oh, you know what? I never put the pulse chain tab. I need to do that. Maybe later today. I must have got distracted the other day. I'm not gonna lie, Sunday I still worked, but I took it a little easy in the afternoon just to revitalize so that I could go hard today, and it worked. I wasn't feeling burned out, but I don't know about you guys, and this is the Underground Crypto Hangout part of the night, so we just chill and talk. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely I try to refresh and revitalize before I'm burned out, not after I'm burned out. Because once I'm burned out, then I don't want to do anything, right? And doing the show, believe it or not, just talking online. Some of you guys are like, I believe it. Oh, Melissa, where are you at? I messed up. I messed up big time. Can you defend me on this run? Because I got health, but I don't have any speed. And that's a problem. I appreciate it. I messed up. My bad. Doing too much talking. Anyways, try to take a moment for yourself and revitalize yourself before you get burned out. A lot of people go hard and they wait until they're completely burned out to think about taking a minute to relax. Oh, I know what I was going to say. You know, some people would automatically get it. Some people won't, but live streaming for 2 hours, 6 days a week is pretty demanding. And having something of value to say to you guys every day requires a little bit of thought. It can be kind of demanding too. Not complaining, I love it. I'm here to educate myself as well, so I don't need nobody's sympathy about it. But I just highly encourage you, if you're burned out a lot, you might not be refreshing yourself before you're burned out. You might be waiting until you're absolutely exhausted and burned out to catch a little bit of R&R. Maybe swap that around. I really wish I would have got some Swift potions. Why did I do this to myself? I wish there was like a Swift fish. Swift fish would be nice. I use the fish basically as like health potions because they're super easy to get. Yo, I'm running like the most profitable trade run here. Shout out to Kindra. Link to Kindra in the description. Kindra's been good to us. The developers have come in. Like, it's just been so much fun. And the game's good. And it's always building. There's always new stuff. In a year from now, I think Kindra's going to have a lot of big upgrades and stuff. I think it's just going to become better and better and better. Hey, look, there's another person in our clan here. In our guild, I should say. Same thing. I think we got one more round of people attacking me. Maybe not. Bang. There we go. We earned 1,800 profits. Let's go. Melissa, you want to run? Anything? You done with your runs for the day? Oh, okay, I see what happened. It's cyber leak and it's all one word. Let me know if you want me to guard you for a run. It's got 12.8 million in it. It is a Solana coin, but it doesn't say pump.fun. So it's a Solana meme. Man, I wish it would have been a pump.fun coin. I probably would have caught that sucker. Oh, man. That would have been a payday. Oh, well. What else is there to say about it? I mean, it doesn't have a website or anything. It does have a Twitter. I guess we could go look at that. Account is suspended. Yeah, I mean, you're leaking a product early. Hey, there's the mentor. Hopefully he's had a good trip. Let's see. Where do I want to go from here? We pretty much don't need that. Let's go back to Kindra. So many tabs. Anybody move their tabs from the top to the side? I only did it a short period of time ago. And, oh, where'd Melissa go? Hopefully she didn't run a route without me. I was waiting for you to respond in the comments. Sorry. Oh, I'm good. Okay, cool. For a minute there, I was like, crap, she probably... Oh, I need to run one. Actually, I take that back. I want Swift Potions. So indecisive. Oof. I still need to do some leveling up here. What level am I? 22? I'm getting up there, but it's not really great yet. Alright, let's roll to the merchant. Let's get us some Swift Potions. I'm going to buy a bunch. I get tired of buying them. I'm not dying as much anymore. Less dying. Let's go to the bank, and let's throw some money in here. Let's throw 6,000 gold in there. Keep banking a little bit, let it add up. Whoa, what was that? Pop-ups. Let's go take some bosses down, grab some loot, and then I need to go run another trade run. Just basically kind of doing my dailies over here. But if you want to play some Kindra, look for that link in the description. I think you'll get like an automatic, some free gold when you sign up or something. I'm not sure what you get, to be honest, but you should get something for using my link. And this game feels so grassroots. Like this feels like somebody who had a little bit, or probably a lot of it, I don't want to disrespect them, developing skill, just really went for it. And I love how much the community has really received this thing. Now again, this is on Robinhood blockchain, so that's why this is super relevant, because it's kind of like the best game on Robinhood. Now, I haven't explored all of them. I probably should explore more of them. Hey, we just ran right through Melissa. I guess... Where's all my people for the DeFi gaming? Take this guy out. What else do I need to do? Oh, I need to get my 1,000 gold limit in the market. Need to get some more fish. That's a must. Let's go into trade. Let's go to sell so I don't spend all my money again. like an idiot. That one time I like got to like 6G. I was gonna go blow it all in the shop, and then turned around and I had no gold. The developer of Kindra came in and was luckily here and told me where all my money went. So could not figure out where my money went. All right, let's see what we got here. Rift Steel, I'm gonna hold on to that. Tyrant Shard, we'll sell those. Beast Hide, sell that. Azure Marlin, wow, why are those? Those are highly expensive. I'm gonna keep that. What else do we got? Some more mats here. Wyron Scale, Warden Sap, Grave Ash, Sea Pearls, Fangs, Amber Pelts. I wish we could sell these Kindra crates for like gold. I don't know why we can't sell those. Sunken Relics, Cinder Cores, Bone Shards. Those are worth good money. Oh, we already hit our cap? We already hit 1,000? I guess we did. Alright, cool. Then we need to go to our house in the sky here. Get off the mount. And let's put some stuff in the bank that we don't need. Herbs. High level mats. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, you can open your house? What is the point of open? Anybody? Oh, you can open the door so anybody could come in. I don't think anybody needs to come to my house. My house is absolutely tiny in this game. Alright, he's invited me to a party. Why that mic cuts out, I'll never understand. One day somebody will highly know why that happens. Man. I guess you use Q to throw snowballs? Alright. I don't know what the point of throwing snowballs is, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna go fish a little bit. Let's hit some fishing. We'll need those next time we hop on. Perfect catch. Not perfect catch. Perfect catch. Let's see, where's our fishing at? Oh, we're about to get to level 30 fishing. Luckily, you get more than one fish, usually per catch. So they stack up pretty quick. Gala's up 5% in the last 13 hours. Okay. I get so many notifications from so many different platforms. I get like Uphold notifications, Coinbase notification, like just any crypto related platform, tons of notifications. I'm sure some of you other guys out there have got the same issue. If something pumps, like I get the notification from like 4 different applications. Alright, that's probably enough fishing here. Then we go into craft. And we go ahead and cook them up. That'll get your cooking up. What is my cooking at? 33. So it looks like my cooking is pretty correlated to my fishing, because it's probably the only time I cook anything is when I go fishing. Alright, we just ran past 2 hours of streaming. I like to make sure that I at least stream for 2 hours every night. And it's been a Monday vibe. I love the educational topic that we came up with this week, or I came up with this week. Anyways, I'll probably hop off pretty soon here. I would love to hang out and game for hours and hours, but I do got things to do. We'll save that for tomorrow. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit more. Take this Cinder Colossus out real quick. Probably the hardest boss in the main area besides that dragon you can't fight till you're level 20. I never even fight these things anymore. Because I get no XP. They're too weak. Shout out to Lumina, the coin with the great tokenomics that I always show out. And in order to get these free rip packs, one a day, you actually have to hold the token. You got to hold about $20 worth of the token, which is pretty good. A basic crystal. Cool. And you take that basic crystal and you put it in an incubator. Think of the crystal like an egg. And it's probably going to give me a very basic, right? Because it's a basic. So I got to wait 2 hours. It'll give me some kind of creature. And then also there is a marketplace, right? There is trade stuff going on. Recently, they've integrated a casino. They have a whole VIP section. I'm pointing this out because we're talking about a coin having a reason to exist. So you have to hold, not just have had at one point, but you have to hold this much to get into the VIP. So that's incentive. You got to hold less, but you got to hold at least 10, right? Which is over $20 now. You got to hold at least 10 of them to get the daily reward, right? I hold about, 50 of them. And so there's incentive. Not only does it have great tokenomics, but there's incentive to hold this coin. Now, thinking of like the bearish, I mean, gamers gonna game. People who like Pokemon, like this has a multifaceted, like people who love DeFi game probably would try this game out. People who love Pokemon might try this game out just because it's like Pokemon, even though they're not even Web3. Those people will probably have a little bit of confusion on how to actually play it, but if they try, they'll figure it out. So what could go wrong here? Really, the project itself has to screw it up, or the project stops doing new stuff. They stop building new gyms. They stop expanding the world, and they just kind of go dead. It'll take time, but that'll really hurt a project's momentum. As long as we keep over the next, we'll have moments where it won't seem super bullish in crypto. Like we'll have pullbacks and we'll have weeks that kind of suck compared to the pumping we've been doing. But overall, as long as things stay relatively bullish, this project should benefit greatly. It's already gone from like $1.40 to like $2.60 or something. Pretty much almost doubled my money here. So I'm not mad about that. And I think this thing, when real interest, like altcoin season, money goes into Bitcoin. Then people make some money, they take some profits, they go into Ethereum. And then they go into other altcoins. You get what I'm saying? Like it's the flow of money. And so when you get the right flow of money, it'll trickle down into these smaller coins. This coin is under $1 million market cap. The tokenomics are great. You get 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 million into this project. If you got in now, or if you got in when I first started talking about it, highly likely, nothing is promised, not financial advice, highly likely to make multiples on your money. That's all I got to say. Thank you. Thanks for your consistency and amazing stream, Yuji. I appreciate you saying that. You guys are welcome. And I just stay dedicated, There will be a tomorrow and the next day. The beautiful thing about streaming every day is I'm afforded, a lame stream every once in a while. I can mess up. I can pick a bad series for the week. I can whatever, because I'm going to be doing this forever. Of course, I try to do the best topics and really help people learn. But either way, the show keeps going on. All right. This is Lumina. I just wanted to show it off for a second. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope everybody has a great night. Again, free Discord in the chat. If you're still around, smash that like button. Prime Minister says, yo, soul over 100, GM everyone. I'll stick around for a minute. Prime Minister just showed up. What's up, Prime? Welcome in, welcome in. I was just about to hop off stream. We are up to 81,000 for BTC now. And I mean, here, we drew a flag on the 15-minute right when we started the stream. I just want to show it real quick before I hop off. Look at that. None of this pump was here yet. That's what a flag will do. Bang, bang to the upside. Measured move is about 82,230. Or really, it's actually more like 82,361. And it looks like it's going straight for it. I mean, stuff is bullish. I don't think people realize how scarce BTC is and how quickly we can turn like real scarcity, like not enough BTC on exchanges. Because all it takes is governments to start buying it up. That's all it really takes. They have large treasuries. They can create money out of thin air. If you were a government, why wouldn't you take your money, which is worth nothing, collectively a big Ponzi scheme in reality, and then exchange it for something with real value, like something with real value? And then as your Ponzi scheme explodes on itself or implodes on itself, you have something to keep moving forward with. Sounds like the way to go to me. I don't know what is going on with like my green screen lately. That's a little bit better. It's like I don't have enough light exposure on it. Bulls are coming. Yep. The British are coming. I guess only Americans would get that. All right. Well, Prime Minister, you could find me in the trenches chat. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off. You know what it is. Stay underground, stay crypto, think long term. You'll see me in the next one. And I will be live again tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. New York time. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream, the Token Autopsy. I don't know if there really is a topic that's more relevant to people in the market right now. And we just started. I think tomorrow is going to be another great stream to raise that crypto IQ. Underground Crypto out.